Okay, so I'm trying not to burst out laughing. I have a lot of stuff that I have to do, so I'm just gonna try to read this really quickly. Because I was supposed to make this days ago, or a few days ago, but I forgot. And I forgot which phone the screenshot was even on, but let me go ahead and read this. This was in the comment section of a video that I'll link of this homeless lady who's chronically ill. She has like some serious illness and she's at hospice level at that point. Well, at this point. And people were trying to say that it was because she chose this life and just because she was homeless and on drugs, and drugs didn't cause her chronic illness. And there's a whole video that I plan on making just about people's perspective on somebody and why they have something going on just because of the situation they're in and who they are. And I'll probably make that today. Because the thing is, a lot of the people who are on drugs, their health is still better than mine even is. So for somebody to try to act like drugs is what causes the type of illness that she had, I mean, sure, it can make some people kind of skinny, but I feel like that also depends on their food ratio still compared to the drugs. In fact, drugs commonly mess up people's gut microbiome and stuff to where they can't get fat off of them and where they get bigger because like toxins are stored in your fat, just like the whole thing with high fructose corn syrup and the toxins you're getting from all the bullcrap in the food, if I can even say that. So those were just crazy assumptions. In fact, one person that tried to say that the lady wasn't chronically ill, it was just drugs. I looked at their page and tell me why they tell me why their bio or description or whatever in the world it's called said just a girl who loves to smoke. And that's the thing. I guess maybe she smokes weed or something. But the thing with people who smoke weed is that they feel like they're better than other people who do other drugs because they feel like they're not on drugs, kind of like with people who drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes. And it's really annoying. Especially hearing somebody go on and rant about other people when honestly the weed that people are doing is this is one of the worst things you can do. People smoke that once and then lose their mind and run around naked talking to themselves for the rest of their lives. That's how bad the weed is. And you don't see anything else doing that but flocka, because that like really opens people up to the spirit realm and gets them really possessed. But other than that, weed is like one of the worst things. But yeah, let me go ahead and read this stuff. I live in the state I live in the state I used to help the homeless very often. I guess that meant I live in the States. I was so confused. My husband got a job with the state that helps the homeless. Okay, no, I'm confused still, but they're passing out brand new Jordans, Gucci, more expensive food than you and I could afford. And when I when I first read this, it was just so funny. And that's why I started off laughing, just thinking about the bullcrap this says. First of all, why is somebody giving out Jordans and Gucci? That doesn't even. This sounds like some type of con- controlled. Not controlled opposition, that means something else. But I don't know, it just sounds like something some bot would say that's trying to push some bullcrap narrative. Like maybe this is being given out to the homeless immigrants, but I still don't even get why. Like, who's giving out Jordans and Gucci? And, like, if this is true, then that just raises so many more questions. Because there's definitely nobody giving out housing. But anyway, more expensive food than you and I could afford. What does that even mean, though? More expensive food than you and I could afford. Because when I hear this, it makes me think of, like, I don't know, somebody who's giving out steak and crab legs to homeless, which I highly doubt anybody's giving out steak and crab legs to anybody. Because, like, no one can really afford food right now because economic agendas. Then there's the judgment-based pestilence food shortage that's really been around for years and it's only going to get worse, that people keep trying to pretend isn't happening or won't happen like always. And of course, when you do talk about those things, then you're the depressed Debbie Downer. And it doesn't make sense to me, people like that, because people who are always trying to act like the people who aren't lying to themselves about everything that happens in the world. Okay, wait a minute. How do I put this where it'll make sense? How could I could say the brainwashed people, but to a certain extent, it's just like cognitive dissonance and fear. But I guess I'll just say that because I want this to make sense. So the brainwashed people are always trying to act like the people who are in reality are the depressed Debbie Downers just for actually admitting what goes on and wanting to be as prepared as possible for things. But the thing is, the brainwashed people that are always calling the other people Debbie Downers, they're the people who are always running around crying all the time, depressed. And they're the people who are going to be more depressed because they're in denial about so much to where when things really do start to get worse, they're not going to be prepared for jack diddly. But yeah, anywho, they get free housing, free jobs, free jobs, free daycare, free animals or free animal care. And that's the thing though. People want animals because it makes them feel safer and it's also somebody to talk to. In fact, I know people who did the lay low till 18 thing and they left with a pet for protection. So that can definitely make things better. I honestly don't like this rhetoric that, of course, people who were what I would call anti-humanists, which just includes the white supremacists, because they have this mindset like really bad, just like with people who feel really betrayed and they just are scared of people at this point and really paranoid to where all they like is animals. Those people and white supremacists have this mindset bad where they feel like animals matter more than people. Like, they'll call the police on somebody because their dog looks thirsty, but they'll watch as somebody kicks around a 1-year-old and uses him as a soccer ball. And they're also the people that will go on these rants about how they hate when homeless people have pets and dogs because they hate seeing homeless animals and they hate seeing animals living outside. And people really say stuff like this. You'll probably find it all throughout comment sections of different videos about homeless people. And it's like, what do you mean you hate when you see homeless animals that are living outside? That's just sick, stupid stuff. But anyway, sitting. I guess that's supposed to mean free animal sitting. They choose not to, and during the summer they put on a non-stop movie theater for them to go inside, hang out, sleep, and watch movies all day. I have so many questions about this. This really just seems like some propaganda bullcrap. And that's the thing though. Whenever people say free housing, it just makes me wonder so much because something that I've thought about a lot lately is that let's say somebody really did want to help people get housing and just wanted to give out housing. That doesn't even sound like something that would be possible, even if there was some organization that actually did care and actually was helping instead of trying to keep the homeless industrial complex going. Nobody is giving out housing, and I honestly don't really see how it would be possible for someone to just run around giving out housing. And the free job thing. I have a lot of questions about what that even really means. Like, does that mean that they're helping people get jobs and they're like hiring them regardless of what? Now, I know specifically in the area I'm in, the homeless programs that do claim to be jobs don't pay anybody. There's literally homeless programs, which I've talked about before, where homeless people are used to push out themselves and other homeless people further with the whole encampment and tent shutdown thing. And they work every day and they don't get paid. And I've talked about this before and how I was going there. And they told me that even if I started going to different classes for youth programs and stuff, that I could still um, at least get a gift card and I would still be able to come, but they lied. And that's another thing with these programs. They want to be able to use you completely, but they don't want you to do anything that could actually help yourself and go to their quote unquote program at the same time. And I don't even know one homeless program that actually even pays people, to be honest. They still pay the minimum wage, but it's a farm and that's the only one that actually even pays anybody anything. But they make it really hard to even get in there. They want you to come in with a I don't know if I can say the word, but a jab card and a whole bunch of medical record stuff. It's like I'm already sick from my iatrogenic effects and have already been sick. Dead in the mold toxicity. But yeah, I already have videos about that though and how I'm working on my health. But what else could I say? I don't know. The movie theater thing sounds funny though. Like, if somebody even looks homeless and walks into a movie theater, they're bound to have someone try to throw them out, even if they paid. In fact, depending on, like, what all services are around when it comes to body hygiene, it just makes things so much worse. If you look homeless, you're gonna get treated like you're homeless. I remember this story of this, some other homeless kid who they somewhat had to do the Layla till 18 thing to an extent, but they weren't reported missing though. They were kicked out, and of course in the eyes of the law, being kicked out and leaving an abuse situation is seen no different. But if you're not reported missing, especially if it's not like a smear campaigny type uh missing persons report or post somewhere on some social media platform, you have an advantage over people who are reported missing or are being smear campaigned, because if you have your vital records, you can work a job and stuff. But anyway, this person was homeless for some years. They said one time at either 14 or 16 while homeless, they smelled so bad they got kicked out of a library because they didn't have anywhere to shower. And of course, you either have to be able to lie about your age and say you're 18 plus, preferably 21 plus, because, I mean, really, if you're anything under like 25, people are still going to ask you a lot of questions about who you are and where your parents are. But as far as laws go, you have to at least be able to say you're 18 plus and hope that people believe you and not pretend to believe you and then call the police on you behind your back. But you can't, like, go to public showers. Well, not public showers, homeless showers or anything like that. I mean, you could lie about your age and go, but that's still risky. Like, it took me a while to be willing to do that. I did end up having to do it at one point back when I was in Alabama for 2 weeks, but even then, I got cornered into a room with staff and their social worker, which I guess wasn't like the social worker you would think of. It was probably like a case manager, but of course they identified as social workers, but still, that was really risky and that could have went really, really left. Luckily it didn't and I was able to get out of there, but yeah. Also, some places just really don't even have like any programs like that where you can at least go shower and go get a toothbrush. Like, what I found, the little stuff that I have found here, I would have never found on the East Coast. Definitely not in the South. People are just more mean there, and they're more paranoid too. But that's kind of a side thing.